Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence. On the road to them Benjis, I fill my teeth with diamonds. I'm high as fuck in the sky, you would've thought I'm pilot. I'm from Chicago, it get ugly, fill the streets with violence. Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence.
Past, present, future. We bear down.
Just like that, man, we're back. Welcome. It's your boy Coach T with Chicago Bears 360, man. Listen, we're back, man. The reboot of the show, man. It's been a minute, hasn't it? And I don't think I've seen you guys since the Houston week. But listen, man, we've been taking some time to reboot the show. Obviously, you guys can see the new setup. I'm going to be adding some new camera angles as soon as everything gets in. We want to take some time to relax, man, and then think about our approach to the show, making sure we're providing you guys with the best experience, right? The best experience of Chicago Bears content available, man. Just, thinking about ways to be more creative, man. Also weighing some options that's out there as far as potentially joining other networks and things like that, man. A lot of opportunities on the table. So I'm grateful for that. Obviously, man, I couldn't be in this position without you guys, so we'll see how it goes, man. We're still weighing some of those options, but we're glad to be back, man. We're glad to be back providing content, Chicago Bears, man. Let me know how it's sounding in the chat, man. Obviously, y'all can see Coach has gone to the new headset. A lot of comments about, previously about the sound quality, so we made some steps. I thought it was a nice touch to go with the headset, because, just reminds me of my days when I was calling plays on the sideline. So Coach has the headset. He's calling the plays today, man. Listen. We got Bears football today, man. Coming off a great win versus the New England Patriots on Monday night on national TV. We have Bears football again today versus the Dallas Cowboys down in Jerry's World. I'm seeing on social media, I'm seeing on the internet that the Bears takeover is a real thing down in Dallas. A lot of parties going on down in Dallas, Chicago Bears parties. My boy Herb Howard is down there, of course, covering the Bears for the Bigs Network and sending back clips and showing us that, a lot of Bears fans are descending on Dallas for today's games, man. So we're going to get into it today. We're going to talk about the Bears versus the Cowboys. But I'm going to recap real fast, man, Monday night, because I haven't had a chance to talk to you guys, man. The Bears winning in New England, man, and dropped 33 on the New England Patriots coming out of the pseudo bye week, if you will, off the Thursday night game versus Washington. Had a long extended week. Shout out to Luke Getsy, man, for just getting it done, man. Getting it done on a Monday night, of course. Taking that time to revamp the offense, bro. Taking advantage of Justin Fields' athleticism and his legs. Exactly what I thought Luke needed to do. Maybe didn't expect him to do so much running with Justin. But, hey, if you're going to be getting hit anyway, right, why not put that in the design of your offense? I like the fact that I'm hearing that, they took advantage of some film watching and took advantage and installed some of, the Baltimore Ravens run concepts, their counters and power run concepts with the quarterback. So I like that. I like that smart football. Of course, you're going through the film anyway, and as you're going through the film, you see things that worked against an opponent that you're facing, so you implement that into your offense. So I'm not mad at that at all, man. So, hey, if you're a Cowboys fan, you join in the chat. Listen. Do me a favor, by the way, guys. Do me a favor. Let's take advantage. I have been on a while, man. So let's get this algorithm busting by running up the likes the best you can. I know how it goes, man. But yeah, just like that, man. So we come off the win, the big win. The defense was stout on Monday night. Kyler Gordon has played his tail off. Roquan showed out. The defensive line showed flashes, getting there with pressure. Also, shout out to Alan Williams, our defensive coordinator, right? One of the things that I had pointed out on social media, on Twitter, was Alan Williams had been making good defensive adjustments. He just needed to move his process up a quarter, right? So he was making good halftime adjustments, but he needed to move his process up to the first half, probably in between games, right? In between quarters. So between the first quarter and the second quarter is probably when he needed to make his adjustments, because he had been calling outstanding games, right? The Bears to this point have only given up 1 second half touchdown so far this season. And I don't think this defense gives enough credit. This defense does not get enough credit with the quote-unquote lack of name brand players, right? The lack of talent, right? Being a young defense, right? The lack of superstars, as we said, going into the season. But they still have managed not to give up, but to give up only 1 second half touchdown so far this season, right? So, and let me say this. The one touchdown they gave up was in the Washington Commanders game on a muff punt by Velus Jones Jr., which gave Washington the ball, I think, inside our 10 or 20 or something like that. So if you really think about it, we really technically haven't given up a second half touchdown all season. And I'm counting on that defense to be stout again today versus Dallas. This defense is for real, right? This defense is for real. Now, with me saying that, today is not the day for us to go into Dallas and lay an egg, right? Defensively, we have to be on our keys, alignment assignment, keys and techniques, the acronym or the AAKT that Coach Eberflus pushes or promotes for this defense, the hits principle, all that stuff. They need to be on their cues this week, man, doing what they're supposed to do in this Dallas game this week. So, again, great performance by the Chicago Bears on Monday night. But, of course, that's over. Here's an opportunity, again, with not necessarily, yes, it's a national TV game, not necessarily on the prime time. However, we're playing, quote-unquote, America's team. And all eyes will be on this game because of course, the following of the Dallas Cowboys, right? Now, quiet as kept, we know that Chicago Bears probably has, just as big a following nationally as the Dallas Cowboys, but, we don't have all the hype, right? You know what I'm saying? We have just the bigger following with all the hype, man. But nonetheless, all eyes will be on us today as we face the Dallas Cowboys. And listen, we're going to get into some of the keys to the games in a minute. I'm going to highlight some of the things I think Luke Getsy needs to do in this game, Alan Williams needs to do. And I think Coach Eberflus, from a head coaching or, coach CEO perspective, he's always on his P's and Q's. I don't think we have to worry about Coach Flu too much when it comes to, being on his markers, right? Being on managing the game, knowing when to call timeouts, just game operation stuff. I think, Coach Eberflus has excelled at so far this season. I think, again, today is not the day, is not the day to look like a young team. You're starting to show progress. By the way, while I was on break, I made appearances on NFL Updated. I made appearances on the Barroom Network. And I said this on those networks. Weeks 8 to 12 was where I expected to see the most progress for this football team. And so today starts that window. Shout out to my lovely wife, by the way, in the comments. Terry on demand with her cute self. You fine. I'm going to get at you after the show's over with, by the way. Appreciate that, Matty Matt, man. You're showing us some love, man. I'm going to get to the DMs in a second, man. I'm going to show y'all some love, man. But, again, man, we're trying to spruce it up a little bit, man. We're trying to spruce the setup. Like I said, I got another camera coming in, man, and y'all going to get a different angle in. And then, hopefully, as the show expands, now that I got some more space, maybe some guests. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see what happens, especially maybe the the week of the Atlanta game. Maybe some special guests. I don't know. Stay tuned, man. Stay tuned. By the way, if anybody's coming down for the Atlanta takeover, hit me up. Hit me up on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up deep. Let me know you're going to be in town. Don't come to town, right? And I find out you came to town after the show. You be like, oh, Coach T, we could have hooked up. It's going to be too late then. Let me know you come to town so we can link up. Probably, show you around town. You know what I'm saying? Do that. We're going to go to the game, tailgate, all that good stuff. I got some ideas about how I'm going to do the show that week. Anyway, yeah, we're going to get to it, man. Let me do this real fast, man, because I got to show some love to y'all that been showing love to me, man. Shout out to the Field Soldiers. Shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate the Field Soldiers. Those are the people that have subscribed to the channel. Over 2,800 people have subscribed to the channel. I can't do my like, comment, graphic thing because my platform deleted all my graphics. So all my graphics are not back, man. But again, those are the people that have subscribed to the channel. Over 2,800 of you so far, man, have subscribed to the channel. With the relaunch and reboot of the channel, man, I'm expecting us to take this thing to the next level. You know what I'm saying? We in here. You know what I'm saying? We in here. We're going to be breaking down Chicago Bears football. Y'all know how I do it. It's all about the X's and O's, man. We're going to have Coach T's playbook. We got the drunk uncles. You know what I'm saying? Calling them out. Who else we doing? We got the DMs, which we finna hit in a second. And then we're going to do our thing, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to try to follow the format as closely as possible, man. But look, while I'm at it, man, let me slide to the DMs real fast and check out what's going on.
Football 101 right here. Pro left eye.
Oh, snap. I hit
side toss against the number. So Green Bay's going to always shake.
And just like that, man, that was my first screw up of the reboot. But my graphic did something funky right there. All right. We already struggling. But either way, we're going to get to it, man. Let me slide to the DMs. I already shouted my wife out, man, who has joined us for a quick second, man. My boy Baki, man, one of our moderators in the chat. Shout out to Bach, man. Also, I want to give a special shout out, man, to my boys over at Windy City Breeze, my boy Pat Designer, P Kid, and Ringo. Always showing love, man. Always reaching out and, you know what I'm saying, providing input and pointers about, how to better do the show and so on and so forth, man. Listen, I'm not a creative by nature, man. That's not my thing. I'm a strategic thinker. I'm a business mind, and this creative thing get a little bit, a little bit janky for me. But I'm gonna tell y'all this: I am committed to getting better. So I appreciate that. By the way, shout out to my man Matty Matt said, Coach T, nice setup. Listen, hey man, I'm loving it so far. I'm loving it. When that other camera get in, listen, we gonna be lit, bro. The other camera angle get in where y'all can see the full setup. Y'all can see the screen back here. Y'all can see the little decorations we done threw up in here where y'all can see the full effect. Then I'm gonna feel like we doing something, but I'll take it right now. You know what I'm saying? We got the little football material chairs and you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the wife, man, for hooking things up for me, man. And doing what she can do, man, to help old hubby out, man. You know what I'm saying? Try to be the best I can be, man. Of course, man, we got our Bears swag on today, so we going with the gray vest, going with the blue. You know what I'm saying? We going with the blue. You know what I'm saying? The orange. We do what we do, man. You know what I'm saying? We got the gray 13s on. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't teach swag. You can't teach sauce. You know what I'm saying? As my cousin, my famous cousin, internet viral famous cousin says, man, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He said by the way, y'all probably didn't know this. Fun fact, y'all probably didn't know this. That's the Best Buy sauce guy is my actual little cousin, Gordon Terry, right? And as my little cousin said, you know what I'm saying? The juice is temporary, but the sauce is forever. So shout out to my cousin for, you know what I'm saying, framing that, coining that phrase and going viral on the internet. That's right, man. I might probably need to have him on the show at some point. But anyway, man, A little bit of family rivalry going on today, by the way, too. My cousin Derek just so happened to be a Cowboys fan, so I'm trying to get him. I'm trying to wake him up. You know what I'm saying, and get him on the show so I can, talk some trash to him. Maybe today we can have him on the show today and talk a little trash to a Cowboys fan today, man. I'm trying to get him on here. But listen, besides that, how we feeling? How we feeling going into today's games? Somebody already started to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? The injury report has come out. Of course, your boy Lucas Patrick is down, right? So we got to go back to Sam Mustipher, right? And I will have something to say about that, right, real fast before I get too crazy and go too deep into the offensive concepts and strategy and all this other stuff. Sam Mustipher, I discovered after the New England game, is a beloved character on this football team. If you listen to how Coach Eberflus spoke about Sam Mustipher on the tail end of the New England win, if you listen to how he spoke about Sammy Mustipher, Musty as some affectionately call him, you could hear the passion and the admiration that Coach Eberflus has for Sam Mustipher. Now, we know Sam Mustipher is much maligned at the center position on that offensive line. But I've said to say it this way, right? Sam had a good 3 weeks to start the season. The second 3 weeks, not so great, right? Not so great. But what I want to say about Sam Mustipher is this. Bears fans need to get used to it, right? When a coach speaks about a guy, the way Coach Eberflus was speaking about Sam Mustipher, Bears fans probably need to just stand by. You need to brace for seeing a lot of Sam Mustipher, because I was shocked. I was really shocked. Sammy, man, he you know what I'm saying? It's a love-hate relationship, bro. I can't take it away from it. First 3 weeks of the season, Sammy was doing his thing. He was grading out C or better, right? A C or better when you get letter grades. He was getting a C average or better. He was about my B minus C. The second 3 games, weeks 3 through 6, not so great, right? Then comes off the bench on Monday night to replace Lucas Patrick, and he had moments, right? He had moments. He had embarrassing moments, but he had moments where I felt like he played well. Again, it's a unit. You know what I'm saying? It's just not one guy up there up front on the starting 5. Additionally, it's just not the 5 guys. It's the 7 guys. It's the 6 guys, the 7 guys, the tight end. It's the running back, right? I heard Trent Dilfer say this about Cole Kmet. Said Cole Kmet is one of your best football players on this football team. Now, to the naked eye, right? To the naked eye, the casual football fan, Bears fan, you won't see that. You won't see the value in a Cole Kmet. But when you start looking at the pass protection and all Cole Kmet does in the run game and the pass protection, you really appreciate people like Cole Kmet. When you start looking at what a David Montgomery does in the pass game in terms of being a run blocker, you appreciate David Montgomery a little more. You appreciate what he does for your football teams holistically, more so than just being a ball carrier. Now, I love Khalil Herbert, but Khalil Herbert is not the pass blocker that David Montgomery is. So all of you clamoring about trading David Montgomery, this is the NFL. You guys know it. You need a 2-headed monster when you come to running back a running game. One running back days are over in the NFL. You need two guys that can carry the ball, right? One guy's a setup guy, and the other guy that could potentially, hit the home run as far as taking it the distance. And also, I'll say this: as long as the Chicago Bears are playing football at Soldier Field on Lake Michigan, and this time of year and going into November, where the temperatures off the lake reach towards freezing and below, you want two guys that can carry the ball, because the way we played on Monday night versus New England is a style of football that you want to play at Soldier Field after Halloween, right? When the temperatures start to plummet at Soldier Field off the lake. Case in point, I guess it's next week that the Miami Dolphins come to Soldier Field, right? You want this style of play with this football team. So shout out to them. Back to the offensive line. I'm having a tangent real fast. Back to the offensive line. So Sammy's going to be in there, right? Schofield came in, did a great job at the left guard position. Now, a few of us are not surprised by that. You got wily veterans like Schofield, and this week we're going to see Reef at the right tackle. And I got a hot take for that position, right? And Larry Borum fans are not going to like me for this take, but I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go in a wow. I'm going to have a wow moment for y'all. I'm going to give y'all the rare hot take from Coach T. It's about them as the unit. I can't emphasize that enough. It's about how they gel as a unit, right? It's 5 as 1. So while individually they may excel and they may be great or good, decent to good, it's how you get in there and they play collectively together. So we have Sammy going back in there, which is going to bring some kind of consistency to the interior of the offensive line, because Sammy's played with Schofield and he's played with Tevin Jenkins. So the continuity is going to be there. Now, where we may see some challenges, right, is on the right side with Tevin and Riley Reef this week, right? Is Tevin going to trust Riley to handle his responsibilities on his own, or is he going to look to press too much or help too much on that side? How much will we have to help on Riley Reef's side? Because, of course, we have Micah Parsons this week, right? And I'm going to address how I think we should attack him, how we should deal with him in a bit. But is Tevin going to try and do too much, right? How's the continuity going to flow with that interior offensive line between the guards and the center? Who's going to need the most help in the interior, right? I think there should be a Tevin Mustipher combination, right? Depending on how we slide the protection and so on and so forth. All right. So I think I'm confident about this unit. I just think, Riley Reef has to get off to a good start. He has to come in and he has to set the tone early, right? He can't ramp it up. What I'm super confident about is Riley is coming in and he plays next to that dog named Tevin Jenkins, right? Our best offensive lineman, by the way. I think that's undisputed and undebatable, right? And I still believe Tevin could have played a right tackle. But I digress. I'm not going down the tangent on that. So, covered the interior, covered the offensive line, talked a little bit about pass pro, talked a little bit about tight end, Cole Kmet. By the way, man, guys, Cole Kmet is a 3 to 5 catch guy per game. 50 to 100 yards. 100 yards would be a great day for Cole. But regardless of what the yardage is, as long as he gives you 3 to 5 catches, Cole is doing his job. With the amount of blocking that he has to do, he's basically a glorified extra offensive lineman, right? And then having to, battle in the trenches and then still have to run routes like a wide receiver and get open. 3 to 5 catches, and then us rushing or average rushing over 200 yards per game. Cole is a big part of that, right? I want people to start putting some respect on Cole's name. Like, he's a big part of that. And he's not going to be George Kittle, right? He's not going to be Travis Kelce. He's going to be Cole Kmet. He's going to be a combo, tight end, great athlete. I just want to reemphasize that, because we have to start putting Put some respect on my boy's name, bro. Cole is that dude. Cole is that dude. I would take Cole again. Like, we're not going to be Kansas City. Like, that's not who we are. We're going to be a smash mouth football team that runs the ball down your throat right now. And when we perhaps get some more athletes in a year or two, we might be explosive, a little bit more explosive offensively in terms of the pass game. But I like this style of play for Chicago. The city, the culture, the weather, the food, the south side, the west side, the north side, the east side. I like how we play football. It is what it is. Like, we got to accept that, you know what I'm saying? This is who we are, man. This is who we are. Got somebody joining us here in a second. We're going to get to it here in a minute. My boy, Ville. But, yeah, I want to take a pause real fast to check down in the comment section, see what y'all talking about. What's up, Steve-O? My man Steve-O down in the comment section. Thanks for joining me, my guy, longtime supporter of the channel. I'm trying to wake this mouse up, bro. I've been having some. If this show is going to work, this mouse got to work. All right. Man. Listen. I'm going to bring my boy Ville on. Can you hear me, man? I hear you.
Yo.
What's going on, man?
Nothing much, big bro. What you up to?
Hey,
You
we
up
trying
there?
to get this thing going.
I hear you. We back at it, though.
How's the sound coming through for you?
It sounds good, coach.
All right, cool, man. Let me turn this volume down. I don't see the video changer for you.
Let me see. Nah, it went blue. I seen your video at first when you was discussing checkdowns and how the Bears been playing.
But your video is still stuck.
Stuck. Let me see if I can.
Refresh that for me and let me see. Going. He gonna come back in, folks. Listen, real fast while Ville's figuring that out. Let me check out my boy Steve-O. He's talking about what's good, coach. He said Mustard definitely has the heart, but he's just not good, or at least starting quality. No, I agree with you, man. I just, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to manage expectations for the fan base, right? Trying to manage expectations as far as how much they see Mustard, and then to understand, too, how the coaching staff, their opinion of him differs from, you know, a lot of fans. I'm not saying we're not seeing what we're seeing. Like, the film speaks volumes in terms of his play. You know, Sammy just, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's, you know, what he's doing in practice or what, but Sammy has the ear of this coaching staff, and I don't know if he's bringing in, you know, cookies or what, or apples, or I don't know. I don't know what it is. Some guys are just attitude guys. Some guys are just culture guys. And it's like that, you know. You know, my biggest thing with Sammy is, you know, you just can't get pushed into the lap of your quarterback, right? And here's the thing. Again, there's ways to address that. He has two decent guards on the inside with him. So I'm interested to see this today, right? If Riley can hold his own on the outside, then Tevin can help more on the inside. So, and people really got onto me this in the offseason, the preseason, when I emphasize how you have to win your one-on-one matchups in offensive line. The more you can win your one-on-one matchups in offensive line, then when you have to double, when you have to go with 60 or 6-man protection or 70 protection, 7-man protection, then it becomes a bonus, right? It becomes a bonus. So if Riley can win his one-on-ones today, then, you know, Tevin can help Musty on the inside, and then we don't have to worry so much about, him getting beat up. So, that's my hopes today. I'm gonna keep my eye out for that today and see what happens. By the way, back in the DMs real fast. Eric Sullivan, man, appreciate you, man. He says, let me get you on the screen. Let me get you some screen time, Eric. I'm gonna get all y'all some screen time today, by the way, because I appreciate y'all support. Of course, we haven't been on in a while. We're rebooting the show. But my man Eric says, man, hey, coach, love the show. Yeah, By the way, man, shout out my boy Swift. Hopefully he can join us today. Listen, we got my boy Ville back. Let's try and get him up here. I don't want to be the only one talking on here. I want some other opinions. You know what I'm saying? Oh, by the way, we're going to be doing some more collabs in the future. Y'all going to be seeing more of my guy, Ville. What's up, Ville? I see you now, bro. You coming through loud and clear, bro. Loud and clear.
What's good? What's good? About time I got it right, huh?
Now I got to fix. Oh, bro, this is crazy. I am not. My graphic is dead. I just killed the graphic, but we going to figure it out. Hey, first day back vibes, man.
Hey, man. It's been a minute for both of us, so I understand. Game ain't started yet. They can handle it.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. That's the coach I know.
Yeah. We adapt and overcome, man. So yeah. So I told you about how the platform had killed all my old graphics. There we go. It came back just now. So I had to do a whole reboot of the graphics, man. So let's take a step back, man. Give me your take, man. Coming off the Monday night, how you feeling coming off about the Monday night thrashing of the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick, more importantly?
Man, you know how I've been feeling. I've been feeling like the Bears been playing with house money like Vegas do, right?
Right.
So any win is a plus, right? Remember they said we was gonna go undefeated. Mike Martz, fuck buddy. But it was a great win. It was an amazing process. I tagged you immediately and was like, bro, this is exactly the offense that you've been talking about since day one.
Right.
Since day one, the way the run game, the quick outs game, getting him on the move. And you said it yourself, you're not going to be able to do it all the time.
Right.
But give him a chance to get into the game and work his magic and play to his strengths. And they took that bye week off and they did what they had to do. The defense I had already been talking to people about, and people were like, nah, they ain't playing well. They ain't playing well because they weren't able to stop the run. But the pass was never really an issue this year. The pass game has never, like, we might have a chunk play here, there that have, like, obviously the negative fan will look at it and be like, see there. But every second half of a game this year, we've shut down offense. We should have won the Minnesota game. Should have won that game because we killed that offense. That offense was dead in the second half. And the more Fields was getting in tune with the offense, we were there. We already know the touchdown should have been a touchdown. Right. So, we can live off of woulda, coulda, shouldas, but that New England Patriots game was exactly what that Minnesota Vikings game should have been all the way through if Getsy would have came in running the offense that way. So that shows you the level of success this offense can get to as well as Fields can get through, because that was only the beginning. He had some mistakes during the Patriots game. He missed some throws during the Patriots game. But you see what I've been doing the last few weeks since I haven't been recording. I at least been jumping on my main page, 3 Point Stands Pod, on Twitter, and just constantly showing people mistakes that quarterbacks make, from Patrick Mahomes to Brady, Rodgers, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm constantly showing, and people think I'm trolling. I'm not trolling. I'm showing you that if you claiming that this young guy shouldn't be making these mistakes, why are these same mistakes happening 4 or 5 times a game? Right. Same overthrows, same missed wide open receivers. You know how you talk, you tell them, coach, You ain't got eyes in the back of your head, so you can't run a progression from right to left and instantly go right left.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. It's crazy to me, man. Like it's crazy to you make that point about progressions because again, there's so many assumptions I make in terms of thinking fans know about, right? It's something I take for granted, right? Progressions go right to left, left to right, and high to low. Like I don't know how many. Like when I said it, people were like, their response to it was like,
crickets.
dang, I didn't know that. In my mind, I'm like, bro, that's football. That's every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if I install a pass play, the first thing I tell the question, you know what I'm saying? The formation. So the formation is going to dictate. The formation numbers is going to dictate whether progression is left to right, left to right, right to left, or high to low, right? So I'll give you an example. If I go 3x1, trips right? Mm-hmm. If I got 3 to the right and one to the left, think about the numbers. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Obviously, my progression is go right to left, trips right, right to left, vice versa. Now, you get a little bit dicey when you go 2x2 because you obviously you're even. Now, what do you go by? A little bit of football nerd knowledge, right? What do you go by then? Now you go field of boundary. Makes sense? So to the field is where if you're on the left hash, the field is to your right, where the biggest or the most open side of the field is. The boundary is the hash in where you're shortest side of the field. So if I go 2x2, I just took this for granted. The fans knew this, right? So 2x2 is field of boundary. Now, the other exception, high-low is usually if you're in multiple tight end formations, 12, 13 personnel, with multiple tight ends, then you're going to run it like a Yankee concept. We see a lot of times people run off boots. They will run one guy to take up the safeties and run that deep crosser. You're going to go high to low on those reads, right? So you make a great point. And again, I think I said this on the bar room, man. It takes time, bro. Offensive football is hard. And I think what people are not seeing across the league, and I appreciate the fact that you pointed this out on Twitter, Brady, Mahomes, all the top quarterbacks, Herbert, what's your boy up in Buffalo? All them guys miss throws, right? Josh Allen, they're missing throws, particularly this season where we had a shortened preseason, 3 preseason games, and minimal contact practices, right? 15 padded practices where you could really get after it. I think that's taking a toll with this new CBA on the league, and guys have been missing a lot of plays that they would normally hit. And to your point about Luke, this is exactly it, man. Play within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage as far as your pass concepts. You want to be more active with Justin with his legs. And I'm not going to claim to say I put that out there, run Justin more. I did not say run Justin more. But what I did say is I wanted to see us run the ball with more gap power concepts instead of us just lining up and going zone right, inside zone, outside zone, and duo. Use the offensive line. By the way, I was going to tag you in this because I saw this in the film this week. Guess who we saw pulling in last week's game?
Was it Luke?
Tevin. He actually pulled Tevin on a couple plays, which I was like, bro, when you start pulling Tevin, this is finna be a problem, right? So
you finally got what you wanted to see,
man. So what's starting to happen is Luke is like. Here's the other thing that happens as an offensive play caller too. Coming into the season, you think you know what you have, right? And then you actually find out what you have. There's a difference. You're like, okay, I think this guy can do this, right? But after about 6 or 7 games, you're like, okay, I know I got a better feel, or I have some film on my guys, and I know who can actually do what now. So, okay, bet. Justin knows how to run without getting himself hurt. I'm going to give you a prime example, right? You're nervous as an offensive play caller. I would be too. I don't care if I'm coaching Pee Wee football. If this is the guy that knows my entire playbook and he's my quarterback, I'm not going to run a guy in Pee Wee football or high school football, because if he's the guy I can call my entire playbook with, Why would I risk getting him hurt and then I got to go to the guy that backs him up that I can only call a third of my playbook with and my hands are strapped, right? So
Thanks.
now that I know Justin can run the ball and I know he's going to protect himself, all right, cool. I'm going to run the ball with him. All right, cool. Now that I know Tevin can pull and be athletic up front, not only get to the outside, but I can pull him across formations. Now that I know that Luke is back, Lucas Patrick is back, now that he's going to be stout at the center position and I get pushed in the backfield, then I can run more gap power concepts and pull behind him. Like, you start discovering what you have as a play caller, and then you say, okay, now I can get busy. So, again, like I've been saying, weeks 8 to 12, I'm starting today. And y'all know how I am. I'm willing to be wrong. And I don't lose anything. You know what I'm saying? My paycheck's still gonna hit in 2 weeks, the way it hit this Friday. If I'm wrong, right? Mm-hmm. It's okay. I think a lot of times we get too caught up in being right on Bears social media. Anyway, starting today for the next 4 weeks, I'm expecting to see the most growth of this football team offensively. I'm expecting to see us more West Coast type short combo route combinations with our wide receivers, outs, digs, rubs, pick plays, like dynamic, competent offensive football where you like, damn, what has been all season? Like surprises starting today, man. So you just trigger a lot of positive things that I felt like we've been talking about for 6 to 8 weeks, man. Go ahead.
Right. And then and to kind of piggyback on your point, when we were discussing the offseason and training camp and what could be what the offense could be and what you had already laid out what you thought Luke Getsy was going with. Not only do you have to understand that they had to go through training camp against themselves, they had to have a training camp coming out of the first at least 4 to 6 weeks to see what other NFL defenses are going to do to their offensive personnel, their play calling, et cetera, so that mini bye allowed them a chance to go back over a ton of film. Like you said, you can see what different players are capable of, what you thought this guy could do, maybe not this guy can do. So you can build upon your personnel, build upon your play calling, be more comfortable in opening the playbook a bit more. Now that you know how defenses are reacting and how your player personnel is actually adapting to these defenses. Are they recognizing the holes in the different route schemes or how to stay and sit in a zone when they're on a route? Like if it's a zone, can they find that soft part of the zone and sit? Can they identify, well, maybe this route is supposed to go out here, but maybe I can cut it a little bit to give Justin a bit of a better angle. Like all of that stuff has it in your own defense. You can't make it's just like fans just got a little bit too ridiculous. For I'm sorry,
Vil, man, you make a great point. Great point. And I want to piggyback and I want to illuminate and elaborate on what you just said, right? Mm-hmm. You're explaining the process of the development of an offensive football team, right? To your point, we get 15 padded practices in training camp in the offseason. You have to work on your defense and your offense at the same time, right? I did this math for people on when I appeared on Barroom, right? Here we go. One offensive pass plays give you at least 6 different looks. One offensive pass play gives you at least 6 different looks. 20 pass plays, how many different looks do you get with 20 pass plays? 6 times 20 is 120. You get 120 different possible looks. Just installing the new offensive playbooks, you get about 120 different looks on 20 pass plays. The only way you resolve the gap between 1 and 6 plays is by repetitions. live game reps, right? So if I actually have 50 to 100 pass plays in my pass playbook, multiply that times 6, right? That's 300 to 3,000 different looks I could possibly get as a quarterback. Now, to your point, the season is played out and Luke has had an opportunity. That's why I said you're explaining why I said 8 to 6 weeks, because the season is played out now and you got at least 7 weeks worth of looks of how defenses are going to respond to our offense. So to your point, diving into the details, so I run a pass play, I run a route combination, and now I have on film how the defenses are going to respond to this formation first. So this formation, right, we have, case in point, we have a great running game. Teams are going to put 8 men in the box, right? Single high safety, 8 men in the box, whether they show too high and rotate the single high or whether they just line up that way. You're only going to get man coverage, cover 3, some kind of cover 3 match, single high safety. Okay, so still even there, the wide receivers know, okay, because I've run this play, where the soft spots in cover 3 are going to be. Do I sit or continue to run my routes? Even Luke knows, okay, I need to go back and I need to adjust this particular play because I got 7 weeks of film and, New England did this. New England did this. The Commanders did this. Houston did this. Okay. And then with Justin, he's developing a library. Like, it takes time. That continuity is developing, and that's the ramp up. That's the creating the library. And imagine this. Imagine a locker room or offensive football team. Imagine if you're not patient. Imagine if Luke changes his messaging in the press conference, and because the drunk uncles in the press room decide, hey, well, we're not understanding when you say, Luke, that it's been positive. We're growing. We're developing. The coach sounds crazy because he's like, no, we did good. But because it's not yielding the results that the casual fan or the media wants to see, then they're not understanding. But when you go back and say, okay, did the player do what I asked him to do? Did we learn something from that, right? Are we developing? Are we growing? Are we ramping up? Are we starting to see momentum take off, or are we starting to see the team develop, right? From day one, I said it, the run game been immaculate. Dude has been running outside zone, inside zone. He's been running duo. He's been running power gap. The only thing I haven't seen a lot of is count. He's actually been running a decent amount of counters, right? He's been running toss sweeps. He's been running jet sweeps. The running game is crazy.
Yes, sir.
The only thing that we really needed to get going and ramp up and get that experience was in the passing game. Another good positive trigger by the way, we got Swifty in the chat, man. Swift, I sent you the link, bro.
Yeah.
By the way, Swift, I knew Patrick was still out. I knew Patrick's still out. I was just saying that Luke, once Patrick came back, Luke felt more comfortable. Like, here's the thing. This is what I was trying to explain. With the gap power concept, your center has to be stout at the point of attack. Because if I'm going to pull a body behind this center, the way you disrupt a gap power concept like that or a counter is you take the center and you push him back into the pulling guard. You blow the whole play up that way. So I imagine Luke would have felt more comfortable with Patrick being a bigger, heavier guy, more stronger at the point of contact. But to your point, he's back out. We know that, and we covered that earlier. But great point. I'm listening, man. I'm listening while I'm reading through the comments.
I'm checking the comments too myself, bro. That's why I'm a little quiet.
Yeah, I want to dive in a little bit on and piggyback to what you said about the defense, bro. We got to. Okay. By the way, by the way. Shout out to Ryan Poles for the Robert Quinn trade. I know a lot of fans might have looked at that and was like, oh, man, you know, Ryan Poles. Again, the casual Bears fans that don't really follow the team. But I'm not gonna try and, you know, be sarcastic or disparaging with this comment. But this was a great move. Listen to me. This is a great move. You have an aging veteran who came in and helped you establish the culture, who by last year's standards wasn't playing well. But I'm not going to focus on that when I say this. While I was at the Green Bay game, I saw that teams were able, the Green Bay Packers was able to take advantage of Robert Quinn in the run game. They ran a lot of their power concepts, their pulling guards and stuff, at Robert Quinn. He was getting washed down clear to the other side of the line of scrimmage. What Dominique Robinson and Tevin Gibson gives you at that defensive end position opposite of Muhammad is a stout body. During that Green Bay game, in the second half, when they played Dominique Robinson at that other end, Green Bay was not able to run those same plays off the edge and attack the edge. And that's what you do against good defense. You run off tackle, right? They weren't able to get away with that. So here's a hot take. It's probably not so hot, but I'm actually expecting this defense to get better in the run game moving forward, because I felt like Robert should have been a pass rush specialist anyway. He shouldn't have been playing downs 1 through 3 and then get to third down. He's gotten beat up, which is going to be a good segue in what I feel like we need to do versus Michael Parsons, by the way. I felt like Robert shouldn't have played downs 1 through 3. He should have came in on third and long, been rested, coming off the bench, third and long, and you should say Robert sick him, right? But playing them downs 1 through 3, I didn't think was a business. I feel like now we're going to have two guys that can come in the rotation and be stout against the run, and we're going to get the third down, and one of those guys is going to be coming in the rotation fresh, and we're going to start to see guys get to the quarterback. That's my take on the defensive lineman. I'm listening.
I got a little take on that Robert Quinn thing too, and this is not to, go back and forth with fans or whatnot, but to your point about the pick and people being unhappy with either what we got for the pick or the timing of the trade.
Come
that
on,
was
man.
One of the biggest things. So I'll speak to both. The pick itself, Robert Quinn, like you said, people have been running at Robert Quinn, but they've also been double teaming him. He was double teamed on 50 plus snaps over these games, right? So obviously you take away your best pass rusher, he's going to not produce. To me, us getting a 4th round pick on someone that has 1 sack on the season, no matter what he produced last year, is an amazing win. Number one, because I said before he made the flight to Philly, I said he's not going to play for them next year. And I posted about it. I tweeted about it. I said, also, us paying the remaining salary, what does that do? Everybody was mad that we paid the remaining salary. We would have paid the remaining salary, one, if he stayed to the end of the year. But guess what? He would have asked to be cut, or they would have had to sever ties to have that extra money in cap space next year. So now we basically paid $7 million for a 4th round pick, right? That's how people look at it. We paid $7 million for a 4th round pick. No, we paid him, which we were going to do anyway if we kept him to the end of the year, but we got something because he could have either asked to be cut and play for a championship content and just be picked up
right
by LA Rams or Chiefs or something like that after he was waived this season. So he would have been waived for nothing. Or he would have stayed here to the end of the year, walked for nothing. All those things. So the second part about, the timing of it, great, awesome, big win, right? Okay, it's a business. Y'all wanted him traded every day before that win. Y'all wanted him traded 2 minutes before kickoff of the Patriots game.
Right.
Now all of a sudden we get a big win, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, he messing up the chemistry of the team and stuff like that. Oh, he made Roquan cry, and that's going to affect the locker room. You don't think that would have affected Robert Quinn back in July? Back in March? They've been teammates for a few years. You thought they just became brothers after that Patriots game?
Right.
Like, chill out. It's a business. He's 32. He'll be 33 next year. He would have been on the books for over $10 million.
Right.
Now let that man slide. Let him gracefully go to a team just like Mac did. Mm-hmm. Went to a contender, was supposed to be a contender. They trashed now.
Right.
But let him go somewhere where he can flourish, and that looks good on other free agents. That you ain't just do him dirty and send him to like the Detroit Lions or something shady, the Houston Texans or something for a third or a second or something like that,
right.
Which you probably wasn't going to get anyway. There's a ton of players. We're witnessing a ton of people having to settle for Cooper, wide receiver from Dallas, 5th round pick. People, they could have got more for him, could they? You really think they was just like, it's the offseason, let's just go ahead and ship him real quick? No, there's reasons why that people aren't able to get that pick that you think that they should get, whether it's performance based, whether it's age based, whether it's contract related, where people don't want to take on that whole amount. Thanks with $134 million in cap now and a 4th round pick. Like, come on, man, that's easy. That's easy. And the way Ryan
easy money.
Easy money. It's actually money. Like, he could have walked for free. I'm gonna keep saying it. He could have walked for free. He just told the Eagles. Him and the Eagles had a discussion off the plane. I am not playing for y'all next year. Cool. Right. We don't want you either. We can use that cap space. Boom. That would have been the same thing that happened to us, and we'd have been left without nothing. And y'all have been like, well, why he ain't trade him?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I think that the rule, the thing to think about for fans is, right, instead of y'all fans getting emotionally invested in a player, overly emotional about the locker room and all this other stuff. Here's the thing. I'll say this first about, a lot of stuff that we see on social media, especially Bears Twitter, right? First of all, if y'all didn't have these crazy takes, a lot of times we wouldn't have stuff to talk about. So by means,
keep it going.
You know what I'm saying? keep priming the pump. Appreciate you. But in business dealings, my rule is mutualism. This is all you can do. You know when you have a good leader of an organization, it's all about mutualism, right? There's so much respect for Rob in the building that I believe that Ian and Ryan actually cared about what situation they sent Rob to, and to the point that they leveraged relationships they had already and understanding the Eagles were hot and saying, look, this could be a Von Miller situation for Rob, where Rob comes in, gets into that pass rush rotation, and again, at his age, he doesn't have to go in there and play every down, but he can go in there as like I said, we should have used him as a pass rush specialist and pushes them over the edge and potentially lands them a Super Bowl, right? By the way, there's no L taken by the Bears on this situation. We still need to clear cap space. We have young, up-and-coming talent that I feel like is capable of playing behind them. It's mutualism. It's mutually benefiting on both sides. The Eagles got a player that can push them over the edge. We got cap room. Point Swift made right there in the comments. Bro, we looking at $134 million with an extra pick, not necessarily an extra pick, or with all of our picks going into the next year with $134 million. Now, here's the thing with Ian and Ryan and our scouting staff. Bro, they could sit on $134 million and really go and trust their ability to scout players and just draft players until we get to the point where we're one or two players away, and then we'll be in the same situation as LA was last year and the Eagles this year, where they're saying, okay, we get to the trade deadline and we know, all right, if it's a good deal out there, then I'll make a good deal. But I'm not going to reach for a superstar or somebody's going to interrupt my locker room or somebody that's a non-culture guy. I can get us to the brink, and then when we say, all right, cool, hey, 2023, 2024, 2024, all right, man, we ready. We ready. Justin is, by the way, also taking into consideration with this $134 million, what year do we have to pay Justin?
It's coming up soon.
25? I know Swifty gonna be on this.
I think it's 24. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's when they can start. They can start negotiation, I believe, in 24. This third or fourth year, whatever that is. But Swift will get it.
Yeah. I know he gonna jump in there in a minute. But yeah, man, like we have to get to the point where we at least, you know what I'm saying, we still, again, build the foundation of this football team, right? You'll know going out of this season what you have in terms of offensive linemen. You can decide, you know what I'm saying, if we're going to go deeper in that space. Or, again, you still, if you got the picks, you still got to draft them. Like, you know what I'm saying, we still got to draft them. What I'm saying is the philosophy of building through the draft is a core fundamental staple, or it's going to be a staple of this group. Like, they're not going to be, we'll go out and get some guys, but if, you know, because we have to or not, but you know what I'm saying, the core of this football team is going to be, hey, we trust our ability to scout, we trust our ability to draft well, and we're going to do it like that. Swift said we have him till 2025 with the fifth-year option. Shout out to my guy, Bear Truth 9. Listen, let me do this real fast. I'm going to do a quick graphic change real fast. I can't do it with two, but hang out real fast, Ville. I want to do this and cover the keys to the game before we get too deep into this thing because it's going to be kickoff here in a minute. So real fast, let me jump on this. Oh, it can do both of us. All right, cool. Listen, I'm learning. We fancy, huh? We fancy, huh? Coach T's to the game, man. Let's get into it. Hey, Coach T's victory, keys to the victory. Of course, Ville's going to chime in here. Swifty's in the comment as well. I'll be looking for his comments. So real fast, Luke Getsey's play calling, I feel like it's going to be key. Listen, you have to build on what you started, Luke. All right, I went into Monday night's game, and I said on Twitter, all eyes was on Luke for me. You know what I'm saying? I was going to be real critical if Luke didn't come off 11 days, show me some progress. My boy came through. He was an offensive play caller's dream on Monday night. Some of that stuff is going in my tool bag. It's going in my toolbox, right? I'm stealing some of that stuff. But here's the thing. The key is still going to be the same for me going into the Dallas game because you got a young football team and and you have a young OC, and his progression is the offense's progression. His willingness to not necessarily run his system per se or the Green Bay system or to customize this system to the talent on this football team is going to be the key to today's game. So I'm looking to see what concepts does he marry or build off of what he showed in New England. What wrinkles does he add to say, okay, I showed this formation on Monday night. I'm going to show that formation again, but I'm going to run the original play, but I'm going to put a wrinkle in off of that play to keep you off balance, right? So before I get into the, you know, complicated stuff, I'm going to say the fundamental stuff. Run the football, Luke, but not just run the football. Do your toss sweeps, run off tackle. Your power concepts, off tackle, run it right at Michael Parsons. I'm not running from that kid. See, here's the thing. For him to be able to rush the passer, right, you got to get to third down. But if I beat you up on downs, first down and second down, right, and I'm smashing, I'm crap backing. Like, there's a game a few years ago where Khalil Mack, when we played Khalil played the Raiders in London, and John Gruden beat the hell out of Khalil Mack. Like, he hit Khalil Mack from every angle. He had crackbacks on him. He had fold blocks on him. He had pulling guards hitting him. He beat the hell out of Khalil Mack that game. That's how you attack Michael Parsons. He should be getting hit from so many angles from blockers that he don't know. Because what you want to do is get his head on the swivel, get him thinking, where's the crackback? Where's the pulling guard? Where are they coming from? You run right at them. That way, when we get to the fourth quarter and we need to make passing plays, or we get to third and long and we need to make plays, that, you know what I'm saying, his legs are gone. He's beat down. So don't let him off the hook. Beat the hell out of him quarters 1 through 3. So when we get to the fourth quarter, you know what I'm saying, we can do what we do. Next is what I was saying before. Throw your wrinkles in there. Build off of last week. Don't come in with a totally different offense, but show the wrinkles off of the plays you call last week. Of course, I want to see him use Justin's legs, but I want to see the West Coast concepts added as far as the route combinations. I want to see, if your wide receivers can't get open, run the quick outs, run the digs, run the rubs, run the picks. And I want y'all to look out especially for this. In the red zone, this is what I want to see us do. When you get close to your end zone, you have less real estate to work with, right? So say it's first and 10 to go to score. You're inside the 10-yard line, right? You have less real estate to work with. You only have 20 yards to work with now. So obviously you can't run a deep route. So what I'm looking for Luke to do is bring your wide receiver groupings in, but run tight formations. So if you're going to run trips tight. If you're going to run loose spread gun, which is 2x2, run loose spread gun, run it tight. And what happens is use your receivers to go horizontal and beat their guys horizontally versus vertically, right? So bring your formations tighter, and then you give your receivers room to move the width of the field to get open versus trying to just be sticky. We don't have sticky guys per se, but what we do have is guys that can run. So if you bring them tighter and run them the width of the field, then perhaps guys get open. Plus, with Justin's scrambling ability, you know what I'm saying, he can buy times with his legs and potentially hit some of those guys running late. So, Luke, that's my first key. Let me know, Vil, what you're thinking.
I think similarly. I think they can still run a similar game plan to the Patriots game plan because obviously, they had Judon. So that's a major pass rusher right there in himself. Dallas's line across the board may be a little bit better, but I do like the continued run game, wear down that defensive line. With Fields, it's just simply taking what you can get, taking the easy shots. Keep protecting yourself. If you're gonna if they're gonna still have the design run game, protect yourself going, especially coming up the middle. Some of those, inside tackle type of quarterback design runs or scrambles. Keep sliding. I love the way he protects himself. If you can get it. Just keep the ball moving forward. No more of those. He had a sack in the Patriots game, which I think everybody's seen the viral video of Musty, running around looking lost at the center or whatnot, which it didn't help. But Justin still could either threw it away from out there or figured out a way to not take that sack. I'm not going to, bash it for it, but some of those plays are some of the things that a lot of fans, even the most pessimistic fans, which I don't like them anyway, but they'll constantly say, well, he's not learning if he's taking sacks like that. But like I said earlier in the show, I've got video of quarterbacks taking sack all season. Brady, Rodgers, all the best of them taking that same sack. It's just something in a quarterback that wants to make a play, wants and hopes somebody can actually get open. And if they have that much time, it's not like he was like getting like having somebody coming down on him right away. So he was just giving it time to see if something developed. But he doesn't have to always play that hero ball. You don't want to backtrack against the Dallas defense. They're very opportunistic. One thing I'll add is I hope they take advantage of Mooney's skills running double moves. Him and Pettis are really good route runners. I know everybody was down on Pettis. That I was right there with y'all. A lot of the drops, a lot of the things are big reasons why we weren't able to move forward. In the offense over a few of those games that we did lose because Pettis's drops, especially the one in Washington, and then I think there was one against the Giants up the sideline. It was a back shoulder throw that he dropped. But his route running skills helps with that opportunistic Dallas defense. They so thirsty for the interceptions, especially Diggs. Like, man, eat him alive with double moves. I mean, you can't do them all the time, obviously, because they're gonna figure that out.
I would have paused you real fast right there. You make a great point. I don't mean to step on you. You make a great point with the double moves, because I put on Twitter, I said, with Justin running the ball, it was a layup. It was a layup for my followers, and y'all know this. Y'all, we do X and O's all the time, right? But it was a layup. I said, with Justin, with Luke's willingness to run Justin, what coverages did we expect to see versus our defense more often moving forward? So I made it a layup. I put man or zone. I didn't go deep into the coverages and itemize them, right?
Right.
Man or zone. Obviously, more zone, we're going to see less man and more zone. With Justin's willingness to run the ball, of course, man, you got to turn your back and run down the field. But with that being said, you make a great point with the double moves, because either with man or zone, they're going to play more 8-man boxes, and the double moves. But I'm not talking about Diggs's, his risk taking. I'm talking about schematically, the double moves should be there. You make a great point. So y'all watching the game, they look out for the double move. The question is, again, Luke setting up the double move in terms of giving them a look from last week, and instead of it being what we showed last week, add the wrinkle of the double move in there, right? So a play that we know we can block up, well, because remember, somebody mentioned option routes and stuff like that. One of the things that Barrelismo always on me about, we should run more option routes and all this other stuff. I always say, Barrelismo, you got to be able to block long enough to run option routes. You got to be able to block long enough to run double moves. So, but again, the film we have, go back off your film and your plays and say, okay, this week my wrinkle is going to be, we're going to throw a double move instead of me showing you this route combination on this play because I know I can block it up. Now I'm going to add a double move to it. So when you do decide to play, a zone or a man with a spy, I'm finna throw this wrinkle in there and give it to you. But do me the favor real fast, Vil, jump straight onto the next point with me and keep going with what you were saying. Justin's decision making, I put as the second key. I'll let you start us out on that one, and we'll keep it going.
Yeah, I just
you started already, so
yeah. Justin has done very well over the last few games, even though people won't give him credit for it. I mean, 3 or 4 times we didn't score in the red zone in that Washington game. If he scores twice, we're not having a conversation. We talking about how much he's improved and how much he's really seeing the field.
Right.
Only thing I want him to be able to do is the stuff that he did in the last game against the Patriots. There was one play where, fans got on him a few weeks ago about missing the crosser, right? Everybody knows that play because he went deep to Mooney. But I always said that if he didn't go deep to Mooney, they would have been mad about that because he had one-on-one and he had beat his man. So either way, it's a lose-lose for him. But what I do want him to do is make that play. Like, if you see him here, hit him. If you see him cross, hit him, get the easy yards, and keep it moving. If you can make that throw to Mooney and he has that one-on-one, make the throw. Calm down, get your feet straight, and launch it. I think a lot of his throws recently aren't because of, or his missed throws, aren't because of his arm talent, because we know he's extremely talented with his arm.
Mm-hmm.
It's because he's kind of forcing it. He's like, I gotta, what is the exact touch? He's kind of overthinking it instead of playing
especially
football.
especially on his screen passes and his short passing game.
Yes, sir.
He overthinking it.
Yeah.
His quick screens or his short passes, like where he's trying to aim the ball, he's thinking too much. He just let it rip, man. Trust your body and let it rip. You make a great point right there. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to say that. Like,
absolutely. You worded it exactly how I was trying to get it. I was trying to get my words.
He's overthinking. He's over processing. I think my points for Justin, his decision making, of course, obviously, I want him to grow in his ability to recognize blitz packages. I've been saying that since the offseason. But I always make the mention of this, and I mentioned it on Barrooms Networks, right? And I tweeted this out, and somebody came back at me on Twitter. I said, when Justin broke camp, they broke the camp. The quarterback group said by having good times by throwing dimes, but I said you move the sticks by throwing nicks.
Yep.
You move the sticks by throwing nicks. And the nickels are taking the shorter passes, taking the easy nickels. And Justin even admitted, the way for him to get better is to take my check downs, right? Take your check downs and get the ball in David's hand, get the ball in Khalil's hand, and allow them to run. Khalil and David are going to fall forward for 3 anyway. So if you just take the check down, let them run for 2, and let them fall forward for 2 or 3, bro, the nickels add up. And by the way, the nickels set up the dimes. So I know, that's always the challenge with a young quarterback because of the hype of yards. They think about 350, 450, 3 TDs, and 0 interceptions, 150 quarterback rating. The way you get that is nickel, 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 dime. You know what I'm saying? So that's a key for me today. Next key is going to be Allen Williams adjustments. It's no secret. I said this. Dude is doing great in the second half, has been doing great in the second half. Whatever process you have for going into the halftime and saying we need to make these adjustments, simply what you need to do, what he's doing, he needs to do what he's been doing. Start scooting that process up instead of you doing it at halftime, saying, hey, between the first quarter and the second quarter, I'm going to get with my position coaches or Coach Flew and say, listen, all right, whatever I've been doing at halftime, instead of me going in the locker room and do it, I'm getting with my position coaches and saying, hey, guys, instead of us making this adjustment at halftime, we're making it in between the first and second quarter. Because first quarter, they shown you your script. A prime example is the Minnesota game. Minnesota ran 3 straight drives, ran it down our throat, passed it down our throat, and scored. And then I felt like after that, the offensive coordinator of Minnesota ran out of plays. And we was on his heels. Allen had his numbers, and he was shut down after that. If he would have moved that process up to between the first and second quarter, then we would have had even more success. So whatever that is, move that up. And then my last point is special teams, be special. We need to put the special in special teams. I need somebody to step up and make a play. I don't care who it is. I don't care what the name on the back of the jersey is. I need you to take the ball, whether it's on a kickoff or a punt return, and in your mind, first of all, secure the ball.
Yes.
But second, say, listen, I'm not out here just to be out here. I'm finna get sticky with it, and I'm finna hit the triangle button or the circle button, and I'm finna be special, because we're finna attack on special team, because I need to give my offense that less. I need to give them 5, 10, 15, 20 less yards to have to drive down the field. I want to hear what you got to say, because we finna get ready to wrap this thing up and get to the pregame hype. Shout out to my boy Swift, by the way, man. I miss you, my guy. We got to get you on here.
Absolutely. What up, Swift? I agree with everything that you're saying on the defensive side. Like, that's kind of my side of the ball. I know a lot of fans, I wanted the second round picks to be a wide receiver, all that stuff. We can argue that all day and night. I wanted a wide receiver, but I love those two picks. I love the defensive back picks of Brisker and Gordon. One, because I'm tired of seeing us getting beat deep all the time by the Packers and other teams that can just routinely game us by going dropping the dime 40 yards down the field and our defense looking lost. The picture or the replay showing them 10, 20 yards behind the play, like almost every game over the last 3 or 4 years.
Walking into the end zone.
Easy. So, defensively, I just want them to play smart. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with the bend don't break offense. I agree with you. The adjustment, can we get the adjustments to be not just after the second half, because they've been amazing. Game 1 through the Patriots game, they've been amazing, but people won't give them credit for it because of the first half and us being down to some teams, and things of that nature. But really pay attention to the adjustments, no matter how good we're doing. If we're winning going into the half, if we're losing going into the half, pay attention to the second half adjustments, because Allen Williams, Eberflus, whatever they're doing together, they're seeing exactly what the offense is giving them, and then they're taking away what's best. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I may be wrong on the yards, but I believe Justin Jefferson didn't have, I think he only had like 15 to 30 yards in the second half of that Minnesota game.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like, when you've seen that first half of that game, think about the first half of the Packers game, if anybody really paid attention to that game. He ate. I'm talking about, I think he had about 100 on the Packers in the first half, but every second half, Williams and Eberflus has been able to shut down defenses. I do want it to be pushed more into, hopefully, to become a full game worth of dominance.
Right.
But I'll take middle of the second half where like Coach always talks about, those first 15 plays, once you kind of let them live a little bit, let them feel themselves a little bit, put the hammer down.
Yeah. So you just showing me what you got.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm hoping to see a lot more of those blitzes that I've seen in the Patriots game, especially coming up the middle with Roquan. Get Dak uncomfortable, get him out of the pot, and just sit there and pat the ball and think that it's sweet. Get through that offensive line. Is down a few of their greats. It's not what it used to. Smack Pollard. He's smart. He's a firecracker. Hit him. I'm not saying hurt him. I'm saying hit him and make him not want that next handoff. Just keep hitting him. Solidly tackle him. Put a head on him. Knock him out. Knock some wind out. Make him rethink coming up the middle, and try to eliminate that running game, because our pass game has shown, our pass defense has showed that they can contain great receivers. So,
all right,
that's my thought.
We got about 5 minutes. Give me your score.
I'm going to go 24-20 Bears, because I'm a homer.
24-20. Yeah, I was in there. I'm thinking we could. I think we can hang 28 on them, bro. I'm gonna be super optimistic and say 28, 28, 14. I think it's gonna. I think we're gonna shock the world again. I'm gonna go super hot. Take 28-14 Bears, and another shocker. By the way, look out for the Bears fans takeover AT&T Stadium. It's gonna be real. Y'all gonna hear the "Let's Go Bears" chants. It's gonna be crazy, man. That's my boy Vils. Plug the channel, man, real fast before we get out here. We gotta get ready to kick off real fast. Plug the channels. Y'all gonna see Vil on the show more often, so I'm gonna tell y'all off rip. And then actually the hosting of the show, we're going to do a little bit of transferring over, handing soft handover to the hosting of the show. To Vil, we're going to get Swifty back on. We're going to get our cold kind of 3-card Monty going on there with the show, man. I appreciate you joining the crew, man. But you know what I'm saying? Plug the socials real fast.
I feel blessed for y'all having me. Hopefully I can bring some entertainment, some comedy, some of the things that we do on our channel at 3 Point Stands Pod. That's 3 Point, the number 3, POINT, STANS, stands like fanatical fans, STANS. 3 Point Stands Pod. And then on Twitter, it's at 3 Point Stands Pod. Just check me out on Twitter, and you'll see me more.
That's what's up, man. That's my man, Bill. Key, man. Listen, we back. We lit. I appreciate the love for the new set design, man. Look, we working, bro. We working. A lot of work going to it. That new camera's going to be here on the 1st. Y'all going to get the big angle. And I think y'all really gonna appreciate it, and y'all gonna see the full effect, man. Again, quick reminder, man. If you're coming to the city for the ATL takeover, man, holla at me. I'm trying to set up something for the Bears takeover ATL with one of the club promoters here in the city, man, so we can all gather in one spot, man. Have a chance to fellowship, break bread, and then also we're gonna do the tailgate and all that good stuff, man. So looking forward to that coming up real soon. That's next month, man. But join us. I think I'm going to be back on Wednesday to recap this game and all that good stuff, man. I think it's a good start, good reboot so far. I got to get my graphics back. Shout out to Switcher, by the way, my platform sponsor, man. We're going to be on it, man. And we're going to get back with y'all soon, man. I appreciate y'all. And listen, let's go get this dub today. Bear down.
Bear down.
All right, let's go.